He clicked the autopilot on, making sure the special FAA notification beacon was activated. He soared over LaGuardia Airport, banked left, and blinked twice at the RSS feed. Before his eyes, a menu of headlines appeared. More economic trouble in the European Union. He'd have to double-check his holdings later. Another Mideast war looked ready to break out, maybe as soon as today. Pepper had flagged a magazine feature on the Mexican subsidiary of Stark Enterprises. Tony would have to make sure Nunez, that division's COO, remembered the company's strict no-munitions policy. And the Senate Meta-Humans Investigations Committee was in the news again. That reminded Tony of another duty, so he clicked over to email. Scanned a couple hundred messages, charities, contracts, old friends, old supposed friends who wanted money, invitations, Avengers business, financial statements. There it was. Confirmation of his own testimony before the Meta-Humans Committee next week. That was an important one. There'd be no long-distance flight to blow off steam that day. The committee had been formed to investigate abuses of superhuman power and to recommend standards and regulations to govern the actions of metahumans. Like many congressional committees, it served largely to score political points for its members. But Tony had to admit that as the world had grown more dangerous, superpowered beings had become less and less popular among civilians. As the highest-profile Avenger with a publicly known identity, Tony felt a special obligation to make sure both sides of the issue were heard. Soon Tony was out over the ocean. It was all just waves now, massive, rolling, a pure, endless display of natural power. The sight calmed Tony, focused him. Slowly, the real source of his anxiety rose to the surface of his mind. The messenger from Asgard, home of the Norse gods, appeared suddenly. 12 feet tall, massive and stern, hovering in a mist of smoky fog above Avengers Tower. Tony had greeted the messenger on the roof, with Carol Danvers, the Avenger called Ms. Marvel, hovering just above. She floated tall and graceful, her body lithe and strong in flowing blue and red. Captain America stood on the roof in full uniform, alongside Tigra, the orange-furred Catwoman.
Ragnarok has come. I am sent to notify you of the Thunder God's fate. You will see him no more.
Tigra's eyes went wide with alarm. Captain America stepped forward.
We're ready. Just tell us where to go.
No, it is done. Ragnarok has come and passed, laying waste to all Asgard. Thor has fallen in battle. He is no more.
At those words, a terrible, sunken feeling had taken hold of Tony.
I am here out of respect for what he meant to you. But hear me. This is Father Odin's final message. From this day, there will be no further contact between Midgard and Asgard, between your realm and ours. Thor is dead. The age of gods is done.
And the messenger was gone. That was 4 weeks ago. Tony had grieved for Thor this past month. The Avengers had discussed their sorrow and also their frustration. After dozens, hundreds of battles together, their friend and comrade had apparently died alone, in a war fought far away, on some other plane of existence entirely. Not only had the Avengers been powerless to help their friend, but they probably couldn't even have perceived the battle that took his life. Now, though, Tony began to realize that something else was nagging at him. Thor hadn't just been his friend. The Thunder God had been the linchpin, the very center of the Avengers. Tony and Cap were both strong-willed men. He clicked the autopilot on, making sure the special FAA notification beacon was activated. He soared over LaGuardia Airport, banked left, and blinked twice at the RSS feed. Before his eyes, a menu of headlines appeared. More economic trouble in the European Union. He'd have to double-check his holdings later. Another Mideast war looked ready to break out, maybe as soon as today. Pepper had flagged a magazine feature on the Mexican subsidiary of Stark Enterprises. Tony would have to make sure Nunez, that division's COO, remembered the company's strict no-munitions policy. And the Senate Meta-Humans Investigations Committee was in the news again. That reminded Tony of another duty, so he clicked over to email. scanned a couple hundred messages, charities, contracts, old friends, old supposed friends who wanted money, invitations, Avengers business, financial statements. There it was. Confirmation of his own testimony before the Metahumans Committee next week. That was an important one. There'd be no long-distance flight to blow off steam that day. The committee had been formed to investigate abuses of superhuman power and to recommend standards and regulations to govern the actions of metahumans. Like many congressional committees, it served largely to score political points for its members. But Tony had to admit that as the world had grown